know that you are busy. I know that you have people coming to you out the wazoo and your schedule is so full. He looked at my glasses and was like, that's plumber's tape on there. It was not a good experience. Ding dang dong, if you can't sit down with your patients and get to know them, hey peeps, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drew and today you are going to explore my little mind. Yes, aren't you excited? Today I am going to discuss with you an American's perspective on the eye doctor and the dentist here in Malaysia. So as an American, we are told that we have one of the best medical systems in the world. We do have a lot of invention coming out of America. There's a lot of money filtering in as far as medicine and all that. But we all know America lacks proper health insurance and accessible medical care. Thus, my situation, not having a job and not being in the US all the time, I don't have insurance in the US. And so I can't just go back home and get medical procedures of any sort because it costs way too much money. Way too much money. In fact, I'm terrified of getting in a car accident or hurting myself in the US because I can't even imagine how big the hospital bill would be. I mean, yeah. Thanks to some of my lovely viewers in one of my last videos where I had an eye infection and I went to get the yellow bird. Oh, I love the yellow birds here, guys. Oh, they're so beautiful. So we're above the palm tree line and they just fly back and forth between the trees and I see yellow birds. They're wonderful, amazing. Anyways, thanks to my lovely viewers in one of my last vlogs where I had an eye infection and had to go get a prescription dropped. I mentioned that I was a little bit nervous about how to do medical care here in Malaysia, and they said actually Malaysia has a lot of medical tourism and I shouldn't be that nervous. So I decided to take them on their word and test them out. I have a little bit of experience with doctors and one experience with a dentist outside the US. Sorry, birds. Doctors outside the US. I did one time I went in Mexico and once or twice I went in Ecuador. In Mexico, it was just a general practitioner who I wanted, because I was having a lot of stomach issues, and so I wanted to see if a general practitioner could do anything. He did prescribe me Cipro, and I had joint pain after taking Cipro for 1 or 2 days, and it was just like a flaring joint pain that I had never had before, so I stopped taking it because I was like, I'm not going to hurt my joints. Also, I believe Cipro is outlawed in the US, probably for some things of that nature because of side effects like that. I just stopped taking that and I was like, okay, I'll just try to go more of a natural route and see if I can just control this with my diet. Then in Ecuador, I went and saw a gastroenterologist and he basically ruled out most everything and said it was probably stress. So I was like, okay, I have to get my stress under control. That is the last time I went to the doctor. So here in Malaysia, my best lovely friend hit my glasses and broke them. To give you an idea, these glasses cost me about $350 US after insurance. And I got these 4 or 5 years ago, I think in 2020. I do not take getting glasses lightly. One, I have really bad prescription, and so I have to get thin lenses. If you see, these are actually, well, here, there's the other side. These are actually thinned, and you can see how much they stick out of the frame. And so when she broke these glasses, I was beyond myself because I was just like, they're not gonna have as good of glasses here. I don't know how to get an eye test here. I haven't had an eye test in 4 or 5 years. Like, what are we gonna do? So we're walking around the mega mall here in Melaka. It's the deserted side of the mega mall, and so there's like nobody there. We ended up finding this optical shop, 96, what is it? 96 Optical. And outside it said RM59. RM59 is probably 12 or 13 US dollars for frames and lenses combined. So we walked in, Nobody was there because he's on the second floor right by KFC. So I do highly recommend him. You should go in and check out his shop if you want cheap glasses. We have searched high and low for the cheapest price in Malaysia, and that is where we found the cheapest so far. And this guy was so amazingly wonderful. He was just so nice. And so we walked in and I basically opened every single drawer. He let me try on every single pair of glasses that I wanted. Nobody else was there. I just felt so comfortable. I was talking like a million miles per hour for some reason, and he just sat and listened, even though I'm pretty sure he didn't know exactly what I was saying most of the time. He was just a really amazing guy. And so we picked out a few glasses, and I was like, man, I don't know if I actually care what my glasses look like because I don't really wear them out of the house. I wear my contacts out of the house so I can see everything around me, whereas glasses, it's real, like, you have blind spots all over. And I was like, I don't know if I actually care. So I walked away and I told him I might be back, but don't know what I want right now. So there's no point in just sitting here and debating it. A couple weeks later, we went back this past weekend actually. And on a whim of whims, I tried on a pair of glasses and was like, screw it, I don't care what it looks like. These are what we're getting. One question I do have for people in Malaysia is this guy, the owner of the shop, his name is Lee, he said that he is an optometrist. So I don't know what the qualifications of optometrists are here. Because I hadn't had a eye test in 4 or 5 years, I decided that I wanted him to give me an eye test. So the first thing they do is run your glasses under a machine and it tells exactly then what prescription it is. We've ran Yen's glasses at a couple different places and it varies slightly, very slightly, but it's pretty accurate, we think. And so they run your glasses under and he was like, he can just give me that prescription or he can test me. So I was like, okay, no, I think I want to get an eye test. Basically all their eye test was, in the US you would do like the puff of air and you would do different tests. I can't remember, it's been so long now, but you would do a few things to make sure your eyes were healthy. Here they don't do that because it's just a machine. Or it's not even a machine here. I didn't even do it on a machine, which was really interesting. But it's just the test to see what your prescription is. So essentially, instead of the machine that the doctor has that he puts over your eyes and then he's at his computer typing in numbers, he gave me a pair of glasses that I actually put on. I should have got film of what they look like. Maybe I'll go back and ask him if I can put them on for y'all, so I can show you because he probably would let me. You put on the glasses and then he inserts the little lens every time you say this side or that side. So they have the side A and B, one is red and green, and you tell him which side looks better. And they also have a screen of letters that you read off. My right side is so much worse than my left side, and I didn't realize how much that affected me because he started with my right side and I could never get a good reading on the letters. They were always blurry. And I remember back to the US the last time I was there, she basically said, at a certain point when your eyes are bad enough, you can't get 20/20 vision anymore, but you're just going for the best vision you can actually get. And I didn't remember that while I was sitting there with him, but this is actually what I think happened because when he did my left eye, I could immediately see clear. Even though on my right eye, he tried so hard to like change it to where I was comfortable and he just kept putting him in and out. And I was just like, I still can't see it clearly. I still can't see it clearly. But I think it's just because my eye's just bad enough where I can't get 20/20 vision on my right eye anymore. Together, my left and right eye is perfect and I don't have a problem. He was so patient and kind and he finally came to the conclusion that my prescription was basically the same. It was like very slightly off, and I do remember the eye doctor in the US saying that she like bumped it up one and his was just one under that, so I'm pretty sure it's basically the same. So it took him 2 days to process my glasses. They are thin lenses, so it takes a little bit longer because I think they have to order them or something. I don't know what happens in eyeglass places, but everybody makes me wait longer than most other people. He charged me 300 ringgit for a 1.67 lens. And you can see this is a very thin frame. And so my glasses look horrendously large in them. And it just is what it is. I don't care at all. I really just don't care anymore. But they're super light, and that's what we were kind of going for. And They're not my favorite thing in the world because I think they're a little too wide for my face, but I wanted to get something where I could be on the computer and I could look this way without seeing out of them. I was just like, yep, those are them, great, whatever. So all in all, eye doctor, I think he did very well. I guess here in Malaysia, if you need more specific eye care, you have to go to a specialist or something. I don't know. If you know that, let me know in the comments below because I would love to know. But overall, my experience with this man at 96 Obstacle was so amazing. I would highly recommend you go see Lee. He is right by KFC in the deserted side of the Mega Mall. And I would love if he got any business from this video whatsoever because I think he did a phenomenal job and he was just so genuine and caring. He looked at my glasses and was like, that's plumber's tape on there. And I was like, yeah, I travel, so I don't just carry around tape with me. But he did try to fix my glasses for me. He took off the plumber tape. He could not fix them because it's like a screw issue. But he was so kind and put my plumber's tape back on for me. And it's so much nicer than I had it. Like, so he was very kind. And he gave us a discount for no reason. So, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the dentist. My only time outside of the US, dental-wise, was in the country of Georgia. It was not a good experience whatsoever. They were really kind, it was clean, everything was good in that respect, but he used this like drill thing just to clean my teeth. I did not understand what it was, and he actually took off some of my enamel in one of my teeth, and I could not eat for days because my mouth was so cut up after that experience. So if I ever walk into a dental office and they want to use a drill thing to clean my teeth ever again, no, we'll never do it. It was a horrible experience. So of course I'm like not excited about going here or anywhere to the dentist outside the US where I don't know their practices. But I was like, it's been a long time since I had a dental cleaning, so we're gonna go do it. The first place that we asked at the dental office was this place where you had to put your shoes outside the door. So it's like a little strip mall situation, and then outside the door, you take your shoes off, you walk into the dental office, and I guess you just don't wear shoes in the dental office. Very Asian thing to do. I have this like brand new pair of Tevas sandals that I just started wearing like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So $70 or $80 pair of shoes, which for me is a lot of money, and all their shoes are fine. They're just like little slip-on plastic things or cheap flip-flops, and so you can leave those outside, nobody's gonna steal them. But I was like, I'm not leaving a brand new pair of Tevas outside the store, so I took them in with me, which I think might be a little offensive to them, and I feel bad about that, but I'm not gonna leave my expensive pair of shoes outside this door to be stolen. And she was like, you can leave your shoes outside. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, they're expensive and I feel terrible about it, but it is what it is. So that was like my first experience with the dental office. And at the other dental office where we actually ended up going, I'll put their information down here as well. They were absolutely phenomenal. It cost me RM80, which is around 15 or 16 US dollars, and they call it scaling here instead of a cleaning. I walked in and I was like, I just want a scaling, how much will that be? She was like, RM80, and so I had already looked on Google for the reviews, and they have a 5-star Google review, I believe, on that place. And so I was like, okay, RM80, let's make an appointment. So I go in, I have to go to the toilet first. Somebody was in the toilet. So whenever she walked out of the toilet, she like had her shoes on the outside, and then she was in the toilet slipper shoes, because they have toilet slipper shoes here. I just don't know if I can get on board with sharing shoes and walking around where every other person is. I just think it's such a breeding ground for fungus and things like that. So I still haven't been able to get fully on board, but while I'm in these places, I have to do it. Like, it's just not an option. So I took off my sandal, put on the toilet shoes, went to the toilet, and then they called me into the room, and she was like, you can take off your shoes here on the outside of the exam room door. And I was like, okay. And I started walking in there barefoot. They kind of just let me do whatever I want because they don't know how to tell me I'm doing it wrong without like feeling like they're being rude. But in reality, it's like, just tell me what you want, because it would just be easier for both of us. But the doctor did. She was like, oh, no, you need to put on the exam room slippers to come into the exam room. And so I put on the exam room slippers, and then I went and sat down in the exam chair, and she was like, okay, now you can take the slippers off and then put your feet up onto the dental chair. And I was like, okay, this is what I need. I just need somebody to tell me what's going on. The doctor was a woman. She was very, very nice. She asked me what I was there for, and I was like, basically, I just need a cleaning, and if anything's wrong, just let me know. One thing that Americans, I think, will find super interesting as opposed to American dentistry is that they don't have dental hygienists here. They have dental assistants that help the doctor, but the doctors actually do all the cleaning themselves. And that also happened in Georgia as well. The doctor did the cleaning, and they look at your teeth all at the same time and tell you if you need anything done. I think dentists in the US, they just come in, look at you, and they're like, okay, you're good to go. And they're too important to waste their time on cleaning, maybe. So there's just a separation of duties there. But the dental hygienists in the US are the people like I actually always got to know because the doctor is just barely there. Unless you have really good ones. I've been to really good dentists, and the doctors are so lovely when they talk to you and when they just care about their patient. Anyways, so she did my scaling, and she used a water pick here. She didn't use like the little metal tools that they use in the US, and I'm not for sure how good it is compared to that. I really don't know because I can't tell. My teeth felt a lot cleaner, but she only took like 15 minutes. So it was super short time period. And I was like, I hope this is as good of a cleaning as in the US. I don't know, but my teeth felt cleaner. So hopefully it was just as good. I don't know how or what the difference is. If any dental hygienists from the US are in the comments or anybody in Malaysia knows, let me know what you think about just using more of a water pick situation. It was strong enough to where my teeth were a little sensitive at the time, and in eating cold foods later was a little sensitive. But other than that, like, I haven't had an issue. She did talk to me about like my gap right here, and she was like, I can fill in that gap for 218 ringgit. Just kind of like sculpt your teeth a little bit so you have a more decent smile. If I had more time here and I had a job, I would probably do that in a heartbeat and let her just fix some of my teeth because I just can't afford that in the US. It would be nice to have like a fuller smile, but if not, it's not the end of the world, right? She was just so lovely and amazing, and I really loved the experience. Honestly, what US doctors are lacking. If US doctors can hear me at all, I know that you are busy. I know that you have people coming to you out the wazoo and your schedules are so full. But ding dang dong, if you can't sit down with your patients and get to know them when they're paying you so much money, especially in the US doctors are lacking that so much. And then here at the dentist and in Ecuador and in Mexico, these doctors were just so willing to give their time and talk to me, communicate with me, figure out why I'm there. And that's what this dentist did. After the cleaning, she was like, come sit down by her desk. And we talked about her, and we talked about her family and how long she's been in Melaka, where she's from. So she talked about why I was in Melaka. She suggested activities and showed them to me on Google and was like, this is what you should do. And she wrote them down for me. I mean, that is how you get a return customer. And she didn't have to do that because she knows I'm not going to be a return customer. Besides maybe the tooth thing, but I kind of told her like, oh, we're leaving and whatever, so probably not going to happen. But it's like, she didn't have to do that, but they do. American doctors, if you could do stuff like that, it would just go so long of a ways with your patients and trust. Fix yourselves. Anyways, all my experiences thus far have been really good, and I'm just so thankful that I'm able to find people that truly care about their patients and what they're needing. It's been so good. So thank you for everybody that I've encountered and interacted with and gotten the chance to test out like different things outside of the US, because that can be very, very intimidating. I would love to hear if you have any comments on experiences outside of your home country or outside of the US with medical situations like that. Any horror stories, any really great stories, what you think the differences are, comment down below. Also, you should like the video and subscribe if you're so inclined. Let's go out and make the world 1% better today, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.